Disclaimer, though customization is not for children, I am using toxic chemicals as well as sharpened wood tools. Hello my loves, welcome to another episode. Today I will create another doll inspired by a baby's rainbow colored tutu that I found in a thrift shop. I often buy old clothes in a second-hand shop and use the fabrics for my dolls. This saves money and is good for the environment. Let's start. This is today's candidate, the Monster High doll. This doll was inspired by Frankenstein's monster and has screws in her neck and scars on her body. Her knee joints are too loose. I fix this by adding a drop of superglue to the joint, then bend the knee until the superglue has fully dried. This is very important or else the joint would turn immobile. I repeat the steps with the other knee. Next I cut off the screws from her neck with pincers. I want to remove the scars from the doll's body. I take sanding paper and sand the scars. Do not use acetone for this, as the acetone would melt the plastic. I carefully sand all the scars on her body. The scar on her neck is difficult to remove. I usually cover the scar on the doll's neck with a piece of ribbon. To remove the scars on her arms, I take the arms apart. This is easier. Next, I bring water to a boil and soak the head in the hot water for 10 minutes. The hot water softens the vinyl, making it easier for me to remove the head from the neck pack. I carefully remove the head from the neck pack. With an old screwdriver, I loosen glue and hair inside the head. With needle nose pliers, I remove hair and glue from inside the head. I remove the printed on face with a cotton pad soaked in pure acetone. Wear gloves to do this. Next, I soak the head in boiling hot water. This will shrink the holes in her scalp. After 10 minutes, I remove the head from the hot water. I think the holes in the doll's scalp got a bit smaller. I want to give this doll new hair. I start to reroot the head with light blonde synthetic hair. I also add a few streaks of light pink hair, but they are not very visible. For this I need a reroot tool, which is a needle cut at an angle in a handle. Rerooting takes multiple hours, but the end result is worth the work. First I reroot the hairline. I take a bit of hair onto the needle, then push the needle into a hole in the scalp. I repeat this with all holes. I fill in all areas with hair. This is how the head looks after I have finished rerooting. Next, I need to secure the hair inside the head. For that I take thick glue, for example Mod Podge glue, and spread the glue with a brush inside the head. I try to cover all hair roots. I then let the glue dry overnight. The next day I reattach the head to the body. I prepare the body with 2 layers of Mr. Super Clear sealant spray and add pink pastels to her skin. I make quite a mess today. I should have taken less pastel powder onto my brush. I also regret attaching the head to the body before adding pastels to the body, as I smudge the hair with pastels. I add pink soft pastels to the skin to make it look alive. I add pink soft pastels to her joints, belly, spine, fingers, toes and collarbone. Once I am done with pastels, I apply a layer of sealant and let it dry. I let my sealant layer always dry for 15 minutes. Next, I cover the hair in a piece of cotton fabric, then add 2 layers of Mr. Super Clear Fat Sealant Spray to her face. This is the base for the face up. I then add the same pink pastels I used for her body to her cheeks and forehead. I also add pink pastels to her nose and chin. Here I add dark pink pastels to her lips. Excess pastel powder can easily be removed with a kneaded eraser. After a layer of sealant, I add more pastel powder to build up opacity. I add yellow soft pastels to the inner eyelids. Next I add light blue soft pastels to her eyelids. I want to create a colorful eyeshadow matching the dress I will make later. I color the eyes with a white watercolor pencil. With a pink watercolor pencil I color the lips. I add more pastels to the lips. I draw the eyebrows with a brown watercolor pencil. The eyebrows should match the hair. If the eyebrows aren't straight enough, I can remove the line with a wet brush. With a dark green watercolor pencil, I draw the outlines of the eyes. Whenever I want to save my progress or build up more opacity, I add a layer of sealant spray and let it dry for 15 minutes. I want to give her a blue iris. The upper part of the iris will be dark blue and the lower part light blue. I draw the pupils in black. I add dark green soft pastels to her eyeshadow. With a dark brown watercolor pencil, I darken the tips of the eyebrows. With a black watercolor pencil, I darken the eyelashes. I did not like how the eyes looked, so I removed the pigment with a wet brush. I draw the iris once more in blue. I outline the iris in black and draw pupils. I draw the eyelashes in dark green. I darken the eyelashes with black. I add pink to the lower part of the iris. I add more white to the sclera. Here I add more pastels to her eyeshadow, creating a rainbow eyeshadow. I draw individual eyelashes. With white gouaches and a dotting tool, I add catch lights to the eyes. Next, I paint freckles with white and light pink gouaches. They were too big, so I erase them with a wet brush. This is why I prefer gouaches over acrylics, as acrylics cannot be removed with water. Next I paint white eyelashes with gouaches and a thin nail art brush. Lastly, I draw dark eyelashes with a black watercolor pencil, and after 2 more layers of sealant, the face up is all done. Next is the doll's dress. I was inspired to do this doll by the baby's tulle skirt. The fabric is in rainbow colors and glitters. I start by cutting the fabric. The skirt has an underskirt made from plain white tulle with a rainbow tulle on top. I gather the white tulle with a needle and thread. This will be the underdress for the doll's outfit. I wrap the underdress around the doll and connect the ends of the thread with a knot. Next I gather the rainbow fabric with thread and needle. I pull the ends of the thread, then wrap the rainbow tulle skirt around the doll's hips. I connect the ends of a thread with a knot. Here I tie a ribbon around the doll's waist. I think that looks very cute. Next, I add organza butterflies in pink and blue to the tulle. For the wings of the fairy, I take a deco butterfly apart. I attach the wings to the doll's back with hot glue. I add an organza butterfly to the wings to hide where I attached them, and the doll is done. Lastly, I make a headpiece out of organza butterflies, and here is the complete doll. Stephanie the Rainbow Fairy is a beauty. She has large, expressive eyes in pink and blue, a sweet smile on her lips, and extra long hair in light blonde with 2 streaks of pale pink in the back that reaches to the ground. Stephanie has freckles in light pink and wears rainbow-colored eyeshadow. She wears a voluminous dress made from rainbow-colored tulle which was thrifted. The dress was adorned with organza butterflies in pink and blue. Her hair is made from synthetic fiber in light blonde and fully rerooted, a process that took hours. Stephanie wears a headpiece made from organza butterflies. Her wings were made from a deco butterfly in sparkle. How do you like Stephanie? Tell me in the comments. I think she looks very cute and dreamy. I think the blonde hair and the rainbow makeup look very nice in combination with the rainbow dress. I am quite happy with how this doll turned out. If you want to support me, subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on social media. I also have a Patreon, where I share behind the scenes content and work in progress pictures. Stay safe and be creative.